This is your Adventist News, a service of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm Charlie Thompson. In this week's broadcast, members participate in health initiative and local pastor ministers in the Cayman Islands. These stories and more on this week's Adventist News. While some may have decided to stay indoors during the majority rule holiday, others decided to get moving for their health. The South Bahamas Conference Health Ministries Department, along with Adventist Health Professionals Association, hosted their first health activity for the year, with the Move to Live 5K and 10K Fun Run Walk. The participants set off in the early hours of the morning from Goodman's Bay. The 5K route took participants to Cable Beach, while the 10K continued to Sandy Port Shopping Center. Both routes concluded at Goodman's Bay. Health Ministries Director Shindira Smith commended all those who decided to take part in this health initiative, as keeping our bodies moving is medicine to the body and one of our 8 laws of health. Staying active brings vitality and revives our heart, body, and soul. And while this event was not a competition, it was a great time of fellowship and camaraderie. In the Atlantic Caribbean Union, the Cayman Islands Conference held its 2023 camp meeting with our very own Dr. Peter Joseph of the Agape and Berea Churches and Meguana Company. The camp meeting was extended for 2 weekends under the theme, Transformed by the Word. The first weekend of events was held on Cayman Brac at the Aston Buddy Center, from January 6th through 8th. Camp meeting continued in Grand Cayman at the Lion Center from January 11th through 14th. Pastor Joseph shared many messages centered around the theme, including the importance of facing challenges with God by our side. According to Pastor Joseph, although it was God's desire to dwell among us without sin, even now God is in control and can transform anyone and will make all things new.
Because of sin, circumstances on the earth has changed. Am I right about it? So now God has a circumstantial will. What is that? God now must use bad circumstances as raw material and fashion good out of bad. Did you hear it? God will fashion good out of bad. So hold on. What you mean for evil, God will turn it around for good.
Pastor Joseph also emphasized the importance of worship, which keeps us grounded and focused on God's love and grace, even when things are difficult. Those who attended the various services were also blessed with music and seminars. And our newsreel for this week's news comes from the South Bahamas Conference's Youth Department. Last Sabbath, AY services resumed for the new year with enthusiasm as the Youth Department prepared for a year of ministry and mission. The Johnson Park Youth held an AY on discovering your spiritual gifts and ministry. Berea Youth AY was under the theme, Biblical Budgeting Basics, and the Grantstown Church held a Vision Board AY. Youth created vision boards to visually represent their spiritual goals for 2023. And French Master Guides resumed classes with their personal evangelism honor, conducted by Youth Director Pastor Jamal Franklin. The Master Guides were taught principles of homiletics for adventurers and pathfinders. The honor included a practical festival of preaching, where Master Guides preached the sermons they wrote and were evaluated. Master Guides used stories as introductory illustrations and practiced how to make appeals. After this commercial break, we will have more on what's coming up in the South Bahamas Conference.
Let's say you are already committed to be a tither and a promisor, but the only thing is that, well, you don't have any income. What should you do? Are you expected to find a way to get money anyway so that you may fulfill your vows? Should you sell something you own in order to give? Ask your boss for an advance? Borrow money from a friend? Can someone still be considered a tither and a promisor without having an income? Of course. The idea is pretty simple. Being a tither and a promisor is a decision made from a heart that accepts God as the owner and source of all material blessings. This acceptance depends on your submission to Him and to His Word. It's not about money. God will never expect tithe and promise from someone who hasn't received anything from Him. Once again, we don't tithe in order to be blessed. Actually, we tithe because we have already been blessed. Same thing goes for your promise. In both cases, a previously established percentage is offered from what you receive from God. So the tithe for zero income is zero. The promise for zero income is, once again, zero. And in this case, even when you return nothing, you're still considered faithful. But hey, there is something you can do about it. You may pray to the Lord and remind Him that you are already a tither and a promisor. That following His word, you will return to Him as tithe and promise determined percentages of all that He will give you. Then, ask Him to give you an income if He wants you to help forwarding His work in this world. For we know that every giving starts with God's giving. The Lord upholds all who fall and raises up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look expectantly to you, and you give them their food in due season. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. Psalm 145, verses 14 through 16. May we put our desires last and God first.
And coming up in the South Bahamas Conference, the Adventist Health Professionals Association, South Bahamas Chapter, and SBC Health Ministries will conduct their annual prayer breakfast and reconsecration service on Sunday, January 22nd, 2023, at the Good News Church, Great Britain Street, Flamingo Gardens. The service begins at 8 a.m., celebrating the theme, Sharing and Promoting Health. I will go. Following this service will be the AHPA election of officers for 2023 to 2025. All health professionals, health ministries leaders, lay health workers, and health enthusiasts are invited to participate in this event. Come and be spiritually recharged. The Women's Ministries Department of the South Bahamas Conference will be hosting its English Leaders Consecration Service at the Grandstown Church on Friday, the 27th of January, 2023 at 7 p.m. and its French Leaders Consecration Service at the Francophone Church on Sunday, the 29th of January at 7 p.m. All women and gems are encouraged to attend. The time is coming once again for Pathfinders from around the Inter-American Division to come together for the annual Pathfinder Camporee. Under the theme, Pathfinders in Mission, the camp will be held in Montego Bay, Jamaica from April 4th through 8th. We know our Pathfinder clubs are excited about this event and should plan to attend. For more information, feel free to contact the Youth Department of the South Bahamas Conference. A joint AY service will be held outdoors on Sabbath, January 28, 2023 at 4 p.m. All are asked to wear their blue Global Youth Day shirts and bring new school books, pencils, and other school supplies to donate for the mission activity in the community. There will be music, spoken word, drama, and presentations. Come park and praise with the youth of SBC on our monthly rescue projects. Feel free to visit the South Bahamas Conference website at southbahamasconference.org to receive more information on all of our upcoming conference events. There, you can also view a rebroadcast of our Adventist News Update, along with other local programming from our cable channel ATV 658. Read the weekly Logos, as well as the Adventist page from the Nassau Guardian.
This week, let's deal with your sweet tooth. We all love dessert. Unfortunately, most desserts are high in fat and sugar and can cause your downfall. Be smart and let moderation be your watchword. When you do crave that sweet this week, choose wisely. Fruits, are always your best choice. They come straight from the Master's hand. If you do choose a piece of cake or candy bar, be moderate. Get a small piece and choose to eat dessert no more than once or twice per week after your meal. Managing sweets is a big challenge for all of us, so remember to whisper a prayer for strength. Remember, you can do all things through Christ who will give you the strength to do it. This is Ida Mae Hanna challenging you to take charge of your health.
Let's go now to the Adventist News Network with our news feature from around the world.
First in the news, in 2022, only 5% of hospitals evaluated by Leapfrog Group, a U.S. watchdog nonprofit for hospital quality and safety, met the rigorous standards for the top hospital designation. 9 of those were AdventHealth hospitals. Of the nation's 115 hospitals recognized as top hospitals, AdventHealth hospitals represent nearly a tenth of the list. More than 24 AdventHealth hospitals also earned an A Leapfrog Hospital Safety Grade in the latest analysis released in the fall of 2022.
That's it for our Adventist news from the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. To share what's happening at your church, please email your news stories and upcoming events to svcadventistnews@gmail.com. To view a rebroadcast of the Adventist news, along with other programming, and to keep in touch with what's happening in our conference, visit our website at southbahamasconference.org. The SBC Media Network's Facebook and Instagram pages are filled with lots of material from the Communications Department, so you would want to check those out. And remember to subscribe, like, follow, and share. You can watch and listen to programs from our radio station. We're at SBC 88.3 FM and our Adventist television channel, ATV 658. Get updates, insights, and first-hand information from the SBC Media Network as it happens. The programming from ATV 658 can also be viewed on the South Bahamas Conference YouTube channel, so feel free to watch a recap of our Adventist news. On behalf of our production team, it was our pleasure to bring you tonight's news update. I'm Charlie Thompson for the SBC Media Network. Have a happy Sabbath.